So the ultimate score, we closed our first year, my first year, 2001, with one deal that we had that we started with John Betts. Pardon? See? Now think, this is, I couldn't have made it up. I just can't make it up. The first appointment John makes with a very nice shop, 50, 60 employees. We went for a 401k and everything. We went for whatever I knew back then to go for. And it's made for 9/11/2001. 11 a.m. And I sit there in the morning watching the planes go into the buildings and thinking, man, what am I going to say? What am I going to do? It's my first, God, why are you doing this to me? You sent me all the way from Israel here to, mock me this way? Plus, how does bin Laden know I'm here already? Just took 9 months. Well, everything has a good side to it. Not that this has a good side to it, but I got there and guess what happened? The Israeli expert is here. They didn't care about John or anybody else. Tibi explained to us what's going on. IDF, all that. I gave him the whole scoop about Islam, about this, about that. Well, we did everything with him, but everything just amounted to that year for about, I don't know, $30,000. 2001 ended with $30,000 of production. Then 2002, 2003, and so forth and so on. This is just, it's just accounting. It's accounting, but it is interesting as to what happens to someone that just arrived in 2001. What happens immediately 2002, 3, and on, and how this evolves. And I attribute it to John and others that, made the commitment to partner with me along the way, which is amazing. I formed 3 additional partnerships, and I founded Synergy Advisors, which used to have a different name here, which I didn't notice, so I beg your pardon for that. He gave me permission to show you this. That's the last one I have. I just didn't get his 2009 one, but $186,000 is not bad for a CPA, as half of what I made for him. In other words, his half of our production. This is pretty impressive for any CPA as an addition, and I'm not sure that he's making that much in his own practice. And he keeps coming back. The reason he allows me to do this is because he keeps coming back and saying, Tibi, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be able to send my son to the college I did. Think about it. Forget the clients. They're the most important, of course, but forget them for a second. Forget what we did for ourselves. Forget the money. Forget everything. Just think about a CPA that has given so much to his own profession and is able to actually tell you that thanks to you and your work, another shift at night, they were able to send their kids to a hefty school.
What products generated that number and what percentage?
Great question. Are you a CPA?
No.
Okay. We'll get there. We'll get there. Very good question. If you have any questions left after I'm done, I urge you to ask. We'll get there. So, identifying the right partner, we're going to deal with the partners, and then after we deal with the partners and the challenges about the partners, then we're going to get to the products, which are very, very important here. You really touched a very important nerve. And that's why we're doing it in Pacific Life, by the way, because if anybody has the products, to do this with CPAs, this is the place, no question. So I found, ladies and gentlemen, the question now is, okay, we want to go out, we want to make sure that we have the right partners. We all want to partner with CPAs. Let's find the most efficient and effective way of understanding who we're sitting across from and identifying who we talk to so we save some time and we do it the right way. And we don't, really waste all of our time. So I identified 3 types of CPAs when we sit across and we come to meet them. The first ones are unaware of their power and influence. I'm sure you can see in your, in your imagination a CPA that sits there. He's usually the color of his fluorescent. He has piles and piles. He barely is seen across those piles. He needs to push them away, and he complains about the situation. And of course, the economy is very, very challenging. And he's got so many clients leaving, even though he's the one charging the least in the neighborhood. It just doesn't work. He works long hours. You know the type. We got the type in every profession. We don't want to partner with that type, of course. We don't need trouble. We need someone that is aware of their power, to be able to utilize it. The next is, I think, the most you'll find. The most you'll find is this type. Afraid of their power and influence. And this is the type that are very aware of their influence and power. However, when it comes to using it and utilizing in anything that is different than their usual profession, their CPA practice, they will be paralyzed. They'll become paralyzed, and the conflict of interest that is perceived here would overcome them in a way where they can't move. Because of that influence they know or feel they have. They're so scared of the liability. They have different excuses and reasons, but most those that you'll find these. And it's a challenge. I'm not saying you can't work with these, but sometimes you'll feel like Sisyphus. You're going 2 forward, 1 backwards, 2 forward, 1. Every time you meet with them, you need to start over. If you get to the point where you can really convince them that you're the best at what you do and you're the best for their clients, and they get a client that they're comfortable with to do with you, and they get a good reaction, sometimes slowly you can build this. But it'll take double the time with this type. Sometimes it's worth it. Depends. Time is only an investment. Investment, is worth as much as you're going to gain as benefit. So depending on their book and whatever you know about them. And of course, finally, the prime joy any financial planner could have. The ones that enjoy their power and influence. The ones that can pick up the phone and say what I said. I looked at the 1040 from last year. I think we can do something about it. I want you to meet someone. He's right here. Can you come over? It's that amazingly powerful and simple for them. When they're aware of that, when they have that ability, and they're convinced that you're okay in terms of you're the best and you're going to do well, and you can overcome some of the challenges we're going to talk about, and it takes some time and effort to do that. But once that happens, there's nothing more powerful than this. Nothing in the world. It's as powerful as sitting across the world at dinner and having someone like this saying, when you come back, we have these appointments. Sit up. And watching the emails go back and forth from them to the clients, and you're copied on it, saying, you need Tibi to solve our problem. It's their problem, the tax, and Tibi is the one to solve it. Now, what are you going to do? Go look me up. So